Hi there, Internet. My name's Court, and you've got courtside seats for my review of Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. Let's do it. Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker from director J.J. Abrams and Lucasfilm is the 9th and final film in the Skywalker saga. The movie stars Carrie Fisher, Daisy Ridley, Adam Driver, John Boyega, Oscar Isaac, Anthony Daniels, Ian McDiarmid, and Billy Dee Williams. The surviving resistance faces the First Order once more in the final chapter of the Skywalker saga. So let's start with a little house cleaning. I am a lifelong Star Wars fan. I love the original trilogy. Not a huge fan of the prequels, although I do think Revenge of the Sith is the best. I love The Force Awakens. I liked Last Jedi. I didn't love it. Certainly didn't hate it the way a lot of people did. I thought it was okay. And with JJ coming back for this one, I was pretty psyched. And I really enjoyed this film. I have considerable problems with it, which we'll get to very shortly. But overall, it was exciting, it was emotional, I had fun. But yes, normally in my reviews I start with the good stuff and then go to the bad. This time I think, let's talk about my issues with the movie first. I found the first act to be particularly convoluted. It was just like MacGuffin after MacGuffin. We need to get this, but to do that, we have to go there and find this person who will then take us here to get this thing. It was still pretty fun, but I don't know, like starting your movie with a bunch of video game side missions, maybe not the best way. There's a huge amount of expository dialogue in the film, and a lot of the dialogue itself is not that great, and feels a little clunky, or McClunky if you will. There is a lot of fan service in the movie, much of which actually really worked for me, but there were some bits that really didn't work at all. And this flick really kind of renders The Last Jedi almost pointless. Like it almost retcons a lot of what happened in that film. The character Rose Tico is in this movie essentially as like a professional courtesy, but she's got maybe 5 minutes of screen time. I did think the movie was paced pretty well for its runtime, and I'm normally a guy who's always saying, you could have made that movie 10-15 minutes shorter. This movie, I think, would have benefited from being a little bit longer. There is so much story packed into here. Give it another 10-15 minutes, let it breathe, I think it would have flowed better. Because at times the plot really does feel kind of rushed. And while I really did find a lot of the action very exciting, there were a couple set pieces that felt a little dull. Now, say what you will about The Last Jedi, it's certainly more original than The Force Awakens or The Rise of Skywalker. This movie does, like The Force Awakens, feel like a bit of a retread, and there's a lot of Return of the Jedi going on here. But now let's get to the good, because that's more fun. I liked pretty much all of the performances in this film. I don't think Daisy Ridley has ever been better as Rey. Same goes for Adam Driver as Kylo Ren. My boy Richard E. Grant is not in the movie very much, but it was nice to have him there, and he's definitely more intimidating than General Hux was in The Last Jedi. And it was really nice to see Lando Calrissian back. Billy Dee is still so freaking smooth. And fortunately, they made the wise decision to not have him dance. I loved what they did with 3PO in the movie. I really liked the new droid Dio, who apparently was voiced by J.J. Abrams. But now the big question, what are they gonna do with Leia? There was talk about recasting, there was talk about CGIing her. I never really liked either of those options. What they ended up doing was taking unused footage from The Force Awakens and working that into the narrative. And honestly, I thought it worked really, really well. I don't think they could have pulled it off much better. There are moments where you can tell the footage has been manipulated, or that's a stand-in, or clearly they wrote this scene around the dialogue that they already had. But while it wasn't seamless, I thought it was handled really pretty expertly and was a beautiful send-off for the character. John Williams' score is unsurprisingly fantastic, particularly the way he's evolved Rey's theme. Really, really good. The sound design was killer, and like this entire trilogy, it was visually just unbelievable and super, super flashy. Now, my biggest issue with The Last Jedi was the humor. So much of it didn't work for me. There were a couple jokes here and there that landed, but a lot of it felt forced and out of character for the characters. I had the opposite issue here. Most of the humor really worked, and a lot of people in my theater, myself included, were laughing quite a bit. And I gotta say, this movie got me in the feels. I got emotional 3 or 4 times. And there was something that I've been saying for a couple of years now that they absolutely cannot do in this movie. There's no way to do it and make me buy it. Well, they did it, and it totally worked for me. I don't want to tell you what that is, because no spoilers, but trust me. Is The Rise of Skywalker a satisfying conclusion to the entire Enneology, a word I just learned today? It's trilogy, but for 9. No, I don't think it was. It does have references to the original trilogy and the prequel trilogy, and there is one moment in this movie that really kind of encompasses all 9 movies. That moment was amazing, put a huge smile on my face. But really, this movie feels like a conclusion to this trilogy, the sequel trilogy. And in that way, yes, I found it very satisfying. I really enjoyed the movie. I would like to see it again, particularly in IMAX, so I can see that Christopher Nolan Tenet 6-minute. Ooh, I want to see that. But yeah, I dug this movie. I thought it was quite solid. I know a lot of people are probably gonna hate it. I hope people enjoy it. I'm not sure where it's gonna stand in my rankings of all the Star Wars movies yet. I gotta sleep on it a little bit more. But as far as the sequel trilogy, I'm going Force Awakens, Rise of Skywalker, Last Jedi. Now I don't have a proprietary rating system as of yet, so I'm just trying to figure out what I'm gonna give The Rise of Skywalker. And I think I'm gonna give The Rise of Skywalker a out of 10. Now, I don't know, have you seen Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker? What did you think about it? Where would you rank it in this trilogy or in the entire anyology? Whatever your thoughts, hit the comments below, let's discuss. If you enjoyed this review, please smash that like button and give it a share if you really enjoyed it. And hey, why not take a second, do me a favor, click subscribe and ring that bell to subscribe to my channel for more movie reviews, entertainment news, trailer reactions, all that good stuff. Thanks very much for watching, I'll see you guys in the next one. The Force will be with you. Always.